Good morning and welcome to another Chin Up Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is October 25th, 2023. We had ERs last night, Bender. Did you see said ERs last night?
I didn't.
Well, Microsoft performed pretty well. Google didn't really guide well, so it got kicked in the face. So that, is kind of, sort of, maybe what it is. Um, Altogether, we're still where we were.
Good.
We had a
Fun.
massive, massive pop. They got sold back off. Microsoft held its own. Google, after its initial sell, pretty much held its own. Um, but we have more ERs on deck. We have more noise within the world. One of my favorite things that I saw yesterday, Jamie Dimon. We all know Diamond. We all know Jamie, right? Everybody knows Jamie.
Everybody knows Jamie.
Jamie said the Fed really, really fucked up and got it wrong. Got it very, very wrong. Very wrong.
Jamie said,
Very wrong. You know how that makes me feel, Bender? We'll get into
"How?
charts quickly.
Oh, we're good. What?
When I've been beating on the Fed for going on 2 years now, as far as being a sack of shit, watching everybody else and their fucking mother carry their water, being like, well, it's just like carrying water for these fucks, only to have their God turn around and say, yeah, no, they fucked up. They got it completely and totally, utterly wrong. Their policy has been a failure.
But your name's not Jamie."
My name's not Jamie, but the battles that I had to go through with people, the words that I had to go through, the things that I had to, the time and energy that it took, and none of those fucks, none of those water carrying little hoes are going to sit there and reach out to me like, you know what, Hellsy, it's like maybe you got that right. Yeah, maybe that's not going to happen.
Hells, that never happens.
Yeah, yeah,
We know this.
got to let a hoe be a hoe, I guess. Anyways,
Yeah.
um, chart us up, Captain. What you got, man?
All right. Let me screen share going here. All right. Here we go. Okay. Let's start with look at a 60-minute here. And what I want to, the first thing I want to kind of point out, if we take this leg, this move right here, you can see that pulled back down below the midpoint, bounced, came back down, and look at the bodies of these candles coming right to the midpoint, that 50% retracement, bounce, come back down, recheck it, and so far, bounce. So far, right? I think the story right now is if it doesn't bounce here, 42-47 area, if we see it fall below, let's say 42-42, and it doesn't recover really quickly, at next level 42-38-25, that's 3 handles down from there. I think if this area in here becomes resistance, right, then we're looking back down to 4200 area. So I think that's kind of the name of the game. It's the midpoint of this move that's been acting kind of as support in here. We get to see if that continues to hold. Again, if it breaks down, that becomes resistance. Then we're targeting down here, 42.13. If I zoom into a 15-minute, you can see where that support was early this morning, 3:15 a.m. See where that comes into play, just below that midpoint. And we've got 4264.25 was this current. That's where the stops are going to be sitting from pre-market. This was 8:15 a.m. Took out these highs over here. So now in order to get any sort of meaningful move up, need this area in here to become support. You can see this 15-minute fair value gap in here. So, on a first bounce attempt, there's a volume imbalance in here too. You get a bounce attempt up into this area in here. I would look for it to potentially fill this 15-minute volume imbalance, lay a candle over it, but kind of see what it does up in this area. This would be head on a swivel right in here. If it gets through that and can take 4264.25, if this volume or this fair value gap right in here, if this can become support, then we can target up here. You can see there's another volume imbalance up here, 4270. Above that gets you up into this candle. And I'll make a note of this candle's wick. Midpoint of that right here, 4282.25. Okay. So that's kind of what it looks like to me. I don't have a lean today. We'll see now that those ERs are out of the way, see what they want to do with it. Yesterday, looking at the price action, we talked about it a few times. Like, the market doesn't really seem like at the moment like it's in a real big hurry to make a decision directionally and go for it. And we got a lot of that sort of whippy. This was this morning, but we got a lot of this back and forth type action. The potential setup here, it was all there. And it doesn't mean that it's still not, as far as if we can get above, say, 4280 and put this behind us, then we've got a chance to start some sort of rally and, head back up to where this gap was sitting that hasn't been filled yet completely. Else, I think that's the name of the game, man. I think this 4250, 4245 area right in here, I think this is key. Can I set up the day? Can we hold this area? Can we get above 4264.25? Can this area in here become support? Can we go up? If this becomes resistance, then we go down. It looks like to me.
They're definitely offering a lot of range, but it's a violent game. It's like you get the activity in the first half of the day, and then they chop slop you for the rest of it. That's absolutely apparent as far as what the game has been. But it's like, I don't know. It's like we have ERs, we have all that kind of stuff. I think somebody said Powell might be giving a speech after hours. Maybe, I'm not real sure. We have additional data coming out. Again, it's like we're in this in between land right now. That and I completely agree with your chart. It is what it is. It's like you can't find direction off of that chart.
Right. Nope. And yesterday we were talking about. It was yesterday we were talking about 4237.75. This candle's low, and then that 4280.75. This candle's high. And the entire day, we didn't break it. You had that little poke above, and then, right? it didn't, we got
No, that little poke above, that was the Microsoft ER and then
well,
Google.
that was this candle right here.
Oh, that's where your mouse was. That's why I said that.
Yeah, I was talking about this little poke
Okay,
above right here. Yep. So it poked through and then came all the way back. Yeah, this was the Microsoft ER candle, which, filled in all this stuff right to here. But there's, you can imagine a lot of liquidity sitting up at 4,300 now. So if the market starts to give that directional, like this is where we're going, we're going to, it starts putting those candles, at some point it's going to make that move back up in here and take this stuff out. Does it come down here and take this out first? I don't know. Maybe. But, let's hopefully, today being Wednesday, hopefully it's the last day, this week that it wants to burn premium. And, hopefully by this afternoon, if not this afternoon, early tomorrow morning, hopefully it picks a direction and decides it's either going to 4,200 or 4,300. One of the two. Just take us somewhere, because right now we're right in the middle, 4,254. So that's all I got.
Yeah, no, definitely makes sense. Sonny, you here? Are we going to Stonks?
No, he's not on Stonk.
All right. That means it's me. What's up? Let's go through Sunny stuff, and then we'll get into some charts here. Let's see. All right. Yeah, there's some different newsing things. Let's see. We've got Visa is doing a 25 billion share repurchase buyback and increased their dividend. They're down. They reported. Mara did an offering, 750 million. They're down 1.7%. Affirm taking a hit after Apple announces pay later is available in the US. They're also recycling that headline we talked about, I believe, last week. The Fed's going to do updates to their debit card fees again. Those look like the big ones that I can see in terms of news upgrades and downgrades. Spotify, everybody loves Spotify. They upgraded it across the board. Price targets moved up to 200, 210 by one group. Let's see any other interesting. Chewy upgraded, LTHM upgraded, American Express upgraded. There was also LTHM, someone else downgraded. So what are you going to do with that? I think that's Snap reported somebody upgraded them. I think that's about it over here on the upgrade downgrade stuff. So let's get into some charts over here. So gold, I'm going to be focusing on gold again today. We had a nice long trade to the upside on gold. I'm still looking, I have a bullish lean continuing on gold here. We've got a left shoulder head. Maybe we get a right shoulder over here. We've got this little trend line, and we can see we've got a bunch of stops sitting above. Also, the macro environment seems to be leaning. People want to jump into gold. So I'll be looking for long entries on gold again. Also, we can see this would be a good target. There's definitely going to be some stops sitting up here on these relative equal highs over there on gold. Let's see what else we got. Jump over here. Check out the NASDAQ. Following along with Bender there. And let's see. All right, so here, very similar, Bender kind of walked us through. Got a lot of stops staying below here. Also, we've got this trend line here, this kind of downtrend line that we've been respecting. So, for us to really get moving to the upside, we're going to need to pop this. Also, we've kind of got a left shoulder head. So we'll see, if we bounce up into this is a volume imbalance on the daily here, that big box that we keep trading up into. So we've got this volume bounce on the daily above and this one below, and we're kind of stuck. Still haven't gotten a candle to lay over either one which Bender is kind of talking about as well over there on the ES 15 minute. So here on the NASDAQ, yeah, so we've got stops below. So if we come down and sweep this is going to be an important level. We'll see, do they push down through this aggressively, or is this, we just wanted to grab these guys' stops to go up. So that's kind of what we'll be waiting for, and then see if when we go up, do we pause here, and then we're going to do a head and shoulders, or can we get something going to the upside, which, we got some big ERs on deck, as we were talking about, that will come into play. If we jump over here to the Russell, we had this bear flag that I was looking at last night that's already broken, and now we have stops resting just below. We also could potentially do a left shoulder head and then maybe a right shoulder over here. We still got the above, we've got this weekly gap is the orange box, and the new week opening gap is going to be inside it here, this pink one. So we'll see what we get over there. But yeah, Russell has been, it's like we talked about the Al Brooks idea, the markets tend to keep doing what it's been doing in most cases. If we're stuck in a range, which so far this week we have been, we might continue to do that. Also, we've got this run of a downtrend. So, we caught a long yesterday on the first half in the Russell with that ascending triangle setup. So, but then they faded it pretty good, and then we caught a bear flag at the end of the day. So, be just kind of head on a swivel over there on the Rusty, just kind of chopping around, running out of stops below. So we'll see what we get over there. Let's see. Outside of that, we've got Apple was a daily inside bar. And let's see, looks like we're just a bit below this dark pool. I wanted to watch as the call trigger. Or that was actually going to be the put trigger, excuse me. So be looking for something below, probably this guy right here. So let's see what we get below 171.50. We right below that and hold. We'll be short on Apple. If we can get back over this 172.65 and hold it, and be along with first target, profit target would be up there at 174 on Apple. Also almost similar, maybe this is a head. I don't know, kind of funky, not really like a clean head and shoulders, but it was interesting looking at the charts last night. It looks very similar to AMD here, and AMD's just been kind of chopping around. These triggers that I have going here, we've got below, this is key level 99.45. You can see all the reactions to it, going back for quite a while, and similarly 102.90 above. A lot of reactions there, so we'll see if we can get up there and pop that and hold it. And I believe that is all I have for today.
All right, Stonks. Hey, how did you feel about flow yesterday? What are your thoughts on that?
It was interesting. Crypto, what we talked about, how this is the second week where, they did this kind of pump and dump type news, the ETF thing. And so that was, and that showed in the flow, we were looking at Mr. Bidside calls just kind of powering through. SPX, the bulls are there for longer dated stuff, which, if we kind of jump back to the chart, whichever one you want, it's like we're in this massive flag, and we're in the middle of the range. So it's like the bulls are there, but they're taking shots out to December and 2024 and things like that. So that's kind of what I was noticing for me. What was your take?
Yeah, pretty much the same. It's like we ER flow is always difficult to kind of get your bearings on. The intraday stuff has been fairly clean. As far as some of the same day SPX, but because we had those ERs yesterday, and then we have ERs again today, and then tomorrow that are heavy tech. Some of that stuff on the Qs and even some of the stuff on SPY is a little bit questionable when you look at that, because we did see those heavy puts coming in. And then we saw some decent, I saw some decent 365s that came in for the end of the week also. Mm-hmm. So it's like they're laying their bets on both sides. And I think at one point yesterday, I think I even said it's like they have basically played out every single scenario known to man via flow yesterday. Like there wasn't a scenario that they did not offer out via flow, which makes it very, very difficult. So it goes back to the charts, and these charts that you're posting, that Bender's posting, that I can see very clearly. This is the motherfucking road to nowhere.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, flow-wise, it was like they were kind of ready for Microsoft to be good, right? We saw that yesterday.
Absolutely. So now, what do they do with it? Do they power it through that 350?
Mhm.
Do they? Do they buy the dip on Google? Because I think that's where the answer lies. It's like you have Apple, just bottoming again here, coming into open, and it's like, are they going to sell it through, or are they going to at least, have a respectable move back to 173? Just a lot
Yeah,
of questions, man. Just a lot of questions, and I think ultimately, you have to be careful and you have to be diligent with what you're doing, because this is a very, very unforgiving environment that we're in right now. Very unforgiving. So, just wanted to get your take. I knew what mine was. Looks like they kind of match up here a little bit. You got anything else?
I mean, I think we've got Meta and Amazon. Amazon's another one where it's like in the flow, it seems like they are thinking upside over there. So, we'll see what we get, but I think that's about it.
Yep, that is about it. All right, guys. I don't have anything else. Boeing came out and reported this morning, didn't they?
I believe so. Yes.
And they had a little bit of a pop. It's a nice little pop from Boeing. Nice little pop. Let's see if it can hold. All right, that's all I got. We got about 16 minutes until open. 16 minutes until open. Do you guys have anything else?
I am good.
All right, we'll see you soon.